Hello everyone and welcome back to Half Magic Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is your destiny in 2025. So what I mean by that is, what is the big theme of the year ahead for you? What is the main lesson or the main life event that will happen for you in 2025? There are 4 piles to choose from here, and I suggest selecting your pile based on the pile marker that sparks a memory in you. So for example, I would choose pile 4 candles because all the different colored candles reminds me of when I did this birthday ritual where you have a bunch of candles that represent like different areas of your life. Like green would be money and pink would be love or passion, and orange would be like adventure, things like that. And based on how they burn overnight, that's like kind of your outlook for the year ahead. So I did that one year. That's what it reminds me of. I will put the timestamps down below, so feel free to pause your video now to select your pile, and let's get started. If you selected pile 1, Samhain, welcome to your reading. Your destiny in 2025 has a lot to do with your love life, and in particular, embracing change in your love life. So we're starting off your spread here with this 5 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Pentacles is my card of lack, of instability. And for a lot of you, this is translating as you having had an unstable romantic life. For some of you, you have been in a relationship or you have had a romantic interest where maybe you really want to be with this person, you're enjoying your time with this person, but ultimately it's not fulfilling you. This relationship is holding you back in some way. It's keeping you from growing or meeting someone that's better for you, or you feel like you're being breadcrumbed by this person. For others of you, this is kind of a complete lack of romance or love life. And I think for a lot of you, part of the reason behind that is because of these limiting beliefs that you can never have the kind of love that you dream about or fantasize about. You feel like you'll always be kind of stuck on the outside looking in. And with the next card in your spread here being this 10 of Cups, this is kind of what you envision, or this is what you want. You want the kind of happiness, emotional stability. You want a long-term commitment. You want a family, whatever that looks like to you, with this person or with a person just generally. And so I think for those of you who are in this very unfulfilling romantic relationship, this is what you've been kind of pushing this person towards, or you've been wanting them to become the person that you need them to be so you can be together and be happy, or they can be a better parent to your children, or whatever the case may be. For others of you who are kind of stuck in these limited beliefs about love, you've been thinking, I would love to create my ideal family unit. I would love to have someone that I'm with for the rest of my life. I would love someone that I can be happy with and enjoy life with, but I don't think it's possible for me. And so in the middle of your spread here, we have this 7 of Pentacles, which is, I'm seeing it almost as like a release. So 7 of Pentacles upright is this card about waiting for all of the efforts you've put in to bear fruit. So waiting for all of that effort, all of that patience you've been doing to make this relationship work or bring you the ideal person. If you've been single for a long time, you've been waiting, you're like, I've been waiting so long, I don't even think that this is possible. This is you waiting for that to come in. But in reverse, it feels like, again, that feeling is compounded of maybe I'm waiting for nothing. Maybe this is not going to happen for me. If you're thinking of a specific person, then this is you saying, I don't think this person's going to change. I think that I'm putting all my eggs into one basket, or I think that I'm, waiting for a change that will never come. But This is a positive reading. This is about change. So then we have this beautiful King of Cups card after. And this King of Cups card, I see as almost someone who is very emotionally fulfilled. So you could be a Scorpio or have a prominent Scorpio placement in your natal chart, your sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, Venus. But I think the Seven of Pentacles, this realization that what am I waiting for? Why am I waiting for this person to change? Or why am I waiting for a miracle to happen, but not believing that they can happen at the same time? And so I think this is you kind of letting that go. It's you saying, why am I going to wait for this person to change and make me happy when I can just go find someone that makes me happy or be happy on my own? If this is you thinking, it will never happen for me, this is saying, well, telling myself over and over again that it's never going to happen definitely isn't helping the situation. It may or may not happen, but I have to be able to be happy with who I am, regardless of whether or not, the love of my life enters my life this year, whatever. And so I think this King of Cups is you kind of stepping into that power and saying, I get to create my own level of happiness, or I get to relate to my love life in the way that I decide. And what I'm deciding now is that I'm not putting up with any half-assery. I'm not going to put up with someone who's breadcrumbing me. I'm not going to wait for someone to change. If someone wants to be with me, they can show me, they can prove it to me. They need to be adding to my life instead of detracting from it, making me feel insecure, whatever. Or, I can be fulfilled. I can have romance all by myself. I think something that a lot of people, single people in particular, struggle with is that there's this feeling that you can only enjoy certain things if you're in like a couple. Like, oh, I can't celebrate Valentine's Day because I don't have anyone that I'm dating. But you can still make an amazing meal. You can wear cute lingerie or a nice outfit or whatever. Like, you can do all of these things for yourself. It's like you don't have to save all your good candles until you have company over. You can just light your favorite candle because you want it to smell good in your place. You need to find ways to add romance to your own life, because I think once you're in that energy, it does kind of open you up more to that like frequency of romance within the world. Not saying that it's definitively going to like lead you to the person this year, but I think for 2025 overall, there's this really big mindset shift when it comes to romance in your love life. And that's also coming through in the final card in the spread here, the Seven of Wands, which if you look at this card, this person on the card is on top of a hill and they are kind of fighting off these people below them. And so especially when it comes to like a love situation, this feels like maybe detractors. So this could literally be people in your life who are like, oh, you can't leave your situationship, you can't cut them off, or it's manifestations of your own thoughts. So like, oh, but if I leave this person, who will love me? Or it's not possible for me. But the good news about the Seven of Wands is that this person is elevated. They're above these things, these thoughts, these pressures from other people. And so this person's always going to come out on top. It's you elevating yourself above, breadcrumbers, above these negative self-beliefs, above feeling like you need someone to romantically validate you in order to be a worthy person. This is very much you growing and stepping into your own power when it comes to your relationship with love and life, which is beautiful. And that's also coming through in the pile marker you selected here, Samhain, which says death. So Samhain is basically Halloween. And if you think about kind of like the traditional meaning of Halloween, it's celebrating, the people that have passed away. It's when the veil is thin, and so you're kind of reflecting on the past, but also moving toward the future. And so this is you embracing the fact that, yes, you've had struggles with maybe your self-worth in relationships, with past romantic relationships, with your beliefs around love, but it's time to embrace change and shut out the old and keep moving forward and find new ways to bring romance into your life that are not necessarily dependent on other people who you can control their actions. If someone doesn't want to give you the world, then you can make it for yourself, but you don't have to accept, the crumb. You can accept the 5-course meal. You can wait until someone offers you the 5-course meal. You can make the 5-course meal for yourself. And that's all coming through in the archetype card that we got here, which is the kiss. So this card in particular is what really made me confirm for me that this was romantic, because the kiss is a very romantic card. This is all about kind of that energy of the first kiss when people come together. It's that anticipation, and it's adding romance into your life. So again, I think for 2025, this is really a year of owning your self-worth, particularly when it comes to your relationship with love and romance, and being able to give yourself the same energy you would give to a romantic partner and not accepting anything less than that, which is really beautiful. So congratulations to you, my Pile 1 viewers. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected Pile 2 Altar, welcome to your reading. So, my Pile 2 viewers, what is the primary theme of your 2025? The answer to that is dedication and balance. So, let's talk more about that. We're starting off your spread here with this Page of Swords in reverse. So, this card indicates an indecisiveness, feeling like maybe you have ideas of how you want your year to go. Maybe you already have resolutions, you have goals, you've created vision boards, but you're still kind of all over the place. You're not sure how to achieve these things, or you feel like it's never going to happen. There's a lot of self-doubt here. And so it feels like you have the indecision is preventing you from taking a forward step. And with the Ace of Wands here, it does feel like you do have a lot of passion to achieve certain things this year. So, for example, I do think a lot of you have thought about it, but you just feel like, I don't know that it's possible for me, or you get a little frustrated that it's not something that can happen overnight. I think you get frustrated that sometimes the things that you want to see results on take a long time. So, for example, let's say that you want to become a social media influencer and you've been posting on TikTok and you made one video that got, 1,000 views. And you're like, that's great, but I really wanted to start getting, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of views, or I want to start getting, brand deals, but your success hasn't been linear. It's like sometimes you have a video that kind of pops off and then other times not. And it's easy for you to be like, well, what's the point of this? It just feels random. It doesn't feel like I'm actually making progress because it just keeps going back and forth or up and down. Or, for example, maybe you really want to lose weight or gain weight, and maybe you've been going to the gym, you've been eating a lot, or you've been eating less, whatever. And the progress just feels so slow. It feels like you only see a, 1 to 2 pound change on the scale, and you're like, I just want to have gained 30 pounds or lost 30 pounds tomorrow, which obviously is not healthy, but it can be frustrating if the progress is really slow because it feels so negligible. But this is something that you really want for yourself. This is something that you've been envisioning, but it's easy for you to get in your head and feel kind of discombobulated and you want to give up. And that's really coming through in the last 3 cards in your spread here. We have the 8 of Swords, Temperance in reverse, and the 5 of Wands. So Temperance in reverse, I kind of see as a connecting card between this 8 of Swords and this 5 of Wands. So Temperance is a card that's all about balance. And when it's in reverse, there's imbalance here. So it feels like you kind of switch between these 2 modes of thinking about your goals that are not really that great for you. So with the 8 of Swords, if you look at this card, the person on the card is blindfolded. They're surrounded by these swords. And in the 8 of Swords, the person is usually described as feeling trapped, feeling very limited, feeling like there's not really a way for them to move forward. But the reality is that they could easily remove these blinds. They could remove their blindfold and see, oh, I just have to like walk through the gap in the swords. It's not that big of a deal. So this is really a card about your own mental limitations. And to me, that goes with that Page of Swords in reverse of feeling indecisive. So I think part of you really get in your head and you feel like, oh, I'm never going to make it, or there's not a way for me to get what I want. It's very easy for you to get down on yourself and say, what's the point in trying if it's going to be like difficult, or if the path isn't clear to me. Now, I think that's one mode you're in where you get kind of pessimistic and you want to give up. But on the other hand, the other extreme that you get into is this Five of Wands. So if you look at this card, there's 5 people here who are kind of fighting each other with sticks. And so this is really that kind of competitive mindset. So sometimes you're like, what's the point? I'm giving up. And then other times you're like, I have to be the best. I'm going to put 110%. And I think that's where that imbalance comes in, because it's very easy for you to get into this all or nothing mindset where if you're giving 110%, it's very easy to get burnt out or feel like, oh, I've been doing all of this and the progress is coming so slow. And then that puts you into that Eight of Swords feeling of, what's the point of me even doing this if I'm going to bust my ass and nothing's going to come from it? And so it really feels to me that in 2025, your lesson is to kind of enjoy the journey and understand that the process of reaching your goals is something that you have to accept and be okay with. So that way you are not burning yourself out. You're so hard on yourself, and you have to find a way to enjoy maybe the unglamorous parts that are on the journey of reaching your goals before you reach your goals. And that's all coming through in the pile marker that you selected here. This says altar dedication. Like I said, this is a year of dedication for you. So it's a year of you having to find that middle ground and stay dedicated to your goals and not let your kind of all or nothing black or white thinking prevent you from being slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. And that's what this card is all about. Altar dedication. It's about deciding that you want one particular thing and sticking with it, even if it feels difficult, even if sometimes you feel like, I don't know why I'm doing this. Staying with it is the way to make it feel more satisfying for you. If you can look back in the end of the year or, in 2 years and say, I'm glad that I didn't give up, or I'm glad that I didn't, pressure myself to hit certain goals at this time, because otherwise I would have burned out already. I think you will feel a lot more satisfied with how you got to reach your goals. And that's also coming through in this archetype card that we pulled, which is the Sustainer. So this is all about those things that you have to do to reach your goals or to live your day-to-day life that sustain you but are not necessarily glamorous. So for example, you think about making a meal. Not every meal is going to be Instagrammable or super cute or make you feel great, but you need nutrients to feel good, And it's the same thing with reaching whatever this goal is for you. It's not always going to look fun. If you're trying to lose weight, going to the gym every day is not fun. I mean, I don't do it. I don't want to do that. But if you really have a goal to put on muscle, then obviously you need to be weightlifting. You need to be doing those goals even when maybe you don't feel like it. But it's also important to not make yourself feel like, if I don't do it for one day, then I've ruined everything, because that is that kind of Five of Wands energy that I think you oscillate between. So you shouldn't feel like, if I miss one day, then I've ruined everything. But you also shouldn't feel like, well, if I miss one day, then I'm really not dedicated, and what's the point of doing this? I should just give it up for the next week. I think you have to find that middle ground where you say, I'm willing to do these things that help sustain my goals. And I'm also willing to give myself a break, but it's important to be able to dedicate yourself to the things that maybe aren't glamorous. And I think, again, that's really your lesson for 2025 is that dedication to your goals, and also finding that middle ground where you're not overworking yourself, because then you become resentful or you want to quit. And you're also not allowing yourself to get into this state of pessimism or, inability to move forward because you're stuck in maybe like a limiting mindset. And that is kind of a beautiful lesson to learn in 2025. So congratulations to you, my pile twos. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected pile 3, Lord God, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out what your destiny in 2025 is. What is your main theme for 2025? I really think the main theme for my pile 3 viewers here is not allowing your feelings about the past to decide your future, not suffering out of nostalgia or out of feeling, tied to something because you've invested a lot of time in it. So let's get into what I mean by that. We're starting off your spread here with the Lovers. And I'm not really getting the kind of traditional romantic meaning of this card. You think of love for lovers, obviously, but the Lovers card can also symbolize a choice. And I think for a lot of you, you kind of have this choice of remaining in the past, remaining beholden to something or tying yourself to something from your past, or moving forward. And the good news is that this thing that you've been tying yourself to, I think you've maybe romanticized or was not actually as good for you or is as good for you as it is. Now, for a lot of you, this can literally be about a romantic relationship. So an example with this would be maybe you've been dating someone for a few years. So you invested time into this person, but you're kind of at the point now where you're like, well, even though I do have a lot of feelings for this person and I've invested this much time into our relationship and we have had good times, I also feel like I'm the only one putting in effort, or, I'm the one doing all the emotional labor, or I feel like I have to make myself smaller in order to be in this relationship. And that's really coming through in the next cards in your spread. So we have the Queen of Wands, the Six of Cups in reverse, the Page of Wands, and the Ten of Wands. And this Queen of Wands and Page of Wands really goes together for me. The Queen of Wands I see as kind of like the most confident, magnetic court card in the tarot. And so I think this is the energy that you can be embodying, that you want to be embodying. This is someone who feels really confident about the direction in their life. They feel very secure with themselves. They don't feel like they need to prove themselves or have to prove their worthiness or their lovability. This person knows that they are magnetic and attractive and fun. And it feels like, again, this is the energy that you could be stepping into once you really make this decision that it feels like you have to make this year, which is coming through. And the next card in your spread here, this Six of Cups in reverse. So Six of Cups upright is a card that's all about nostalgia, the past, reminiscing. And in reverse, it's kind of this inability to move on from the past or romanticizing things from the past, kind of looking at things through rose-colored glasses. And so to me, this really indicates that in order to step into this Queen of Wands energy, you have to be willing to let go of this nostalgia. You have to be willing to let go of the past. You have to be willing to let go of this feeling that your past defined you, or that you owe loyalty to a person or situation because you've spent so much time on it. So, for example, for a lot of you, that is, just because you had a really great relationship in the beginning doesn't mean it's still serving you anymore. And that could also not be just about a romantic relationship. It could be about your job, for example. Maybe when you first started working there, you really liked it and it was what you needed at the time. But now you're like, I feel like I'm not growing anymore. I feel like there's not a path for me to succeed in my career. But I also feel like I owe these people that I've worked with something. And it's time to let go of that feeling like your past is holding you, or that, you have to prove yourself, or you owe something to people because of what they've done for you in the past. And again, I think the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands go together here, because the Page of Wands is the first court card and the suit of wands. So they're kind of tiered. So page of wands is like the bottom rung. Then there's the knight of wands, then the queen of wands, and the king of wands. Like I said, the queen of wands I really see as like the most confident card in the tarot. Whereas page of wands is someone who feels like they have a lot of potential, but they haven't proven themselves yet. This is someone who feels like they lack support. They feel like they lack the experience or the confidence to really show up. And so I think this is the energy you're in now, where maybe you have this idea that you deserve better, or you want a new job, you want to follow through on this decision, but you're still feeling held back because you're scared of, kind of taking that risk because you don't have the confidence in yourself yet. And I think that's coming through in the pile, or in the card next to that, which is this 10 of wands. So if you look at the 10 of wands, it's this person who's carrying this big bundle of sticks all by themselves. It seems like they've been walking for a while, and they're trying to reach this house in the corner. But it's hard, if you have your hands full, you can't really see the way ahead of you because your view is blocked by all of these burdens that you've picked up, basically. And so I think that really goes with that page of wands, is this feeling like, you want something, you want to reach, this beautiful rainbow covered house at the end, but you're like, I don't know if I can reach it. I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm doing all of this by myself. I feel like the journey's been so long, and I feel like I can't really see ahead of me exactly. And so maybe that really relates to the particular romantic relationship that you've been in, where you're like, yeah, we've been dating for a while, and I would love for us to be like a happy family and maybe live together or get married, but I also don't think this person is what I need them to be in a spouse yet. And even though I really care about them and we've spent all this time together, I just don't think it's right. But I feel scared to leave them because I'm not sure if I'm making the right decision, or if I'm betraying, all of this time that we put in together. What if I never meet someone else? It's this feeling of, it's a lack mentality. It's a feeling that you will never be able to recuperate your losses from all the time that you've put into this person or this situation. But again, you're coming through as this Queen of Wands once you let go of that past. And so I really think for you this year, your biggest lesson is going to be able to choose yourself and not feel like you have to sacrifice your own well-being or what you really want out of a sense of loyalty for a past situation or a person. And that goes with the pile marker that you selected too, this Lord God / masculine. So if you think about masculine versus feminine energy, like, yin versus yang, masculine energy is said to be very like proactive. It's a very active energy. It's a chasing energy, whereas feminine energy is more passive, more intuitive, more internal. And so this is really encouraging you to take action. It's not time to sit around and debate or think or put your feelings too much into it. It's time to be logical and think about what's going to be best for you and take that action. And that really goes with that Lovers card that's all about making the decision to step into this Queen of Wands energy and not feel burdened by taking on all of this emotional labor or this feeling like you owe people something that's being represented in that 10 of Wands card. And this is also represented in the Archetype card that we pulled for your pile, which is Kairos. So this is the card of mythical time. And one of the kind of shadowy sides of this card is feeling like you're chasing time or racing against time or trying to manipulate time. And so I feel like that really goes with that Six of Cups in reverse, which is the card of kind of the prison of nostalgia, or the prison of feeling beholden to things that happened to you in the past. And so this card is really encouraging you to liberate yourself and kind of create your own timeline. Just because something worked before doesn't mean that it's working for you now. Just because you had a great relationship with a specific person before doesn't mean that it's always going to be that way. And it also doesn't mean they're a bad person. Sometimes you just don't have room for that person in your life anymore. I mean, you think of like Like, for example, I've had people that were my best friends and I thought we would be best friends forever. And then because of circumstances, maybe one of us moved, or we started a new job, or we started dating someone new, whatever. We just slowly drifted apart. And it doesn't mean that we dislike each other. There's no hard feelings there. But it does mean that we've grown apart, and I don't necessarily want to hang out with them all the time or talk to them all the time. And you're entitled to that. And I think that allowing yourself the space to try new things or enter new relationships or go after new goals is going to bring you a level of confidence in yourself that you maybe have been lacking previously. So that's kind of a beautiful lesson for you to be learning in 2025. So congratulations to you, my pile threes. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected pile 4 candles, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out what your destiny in 2025 is. So for this pile, if I had to sum up what your destiny in 2025 is, it is magic. It's spiritedness. And I will get into what I mean by that. So we're starting off your spread here with this Queen of Cups. So for a lot of you, you could be Cancers or have a prominent Cancer placement in your natal chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I said this is the pile I would choose, and I am a Cancer Sun, so that makes a lot of sense for me. But the Queen of Cups is really this very motherly figure in the tarot. It's someone who has a lot of emotional intelligence and who I think people see as kind of a mediator figure. So I think a lot of people could come to you for advice or could lean on you for emotional support because you're a very receptive person. I think you have a lot of sympathy or empathy, and people feel like they can trust you with their feelings and that you have good advice or like a good outlook on life. You're reliable, you're kind, and I think because of that, again, people rely on you a lot. And sometimes I can see this Queen of Cups card as someone who can be a little self-sacrificial. I know if you think of like a mother, the archetype of a mother, this is someone who nurtures other people and maybe loses themselves in the process. I think it's very easy. You hear about new moms where I feel like all I am is a mother. Like I'm an extension. I'm just the person here to support this child, which is not a bad thing. But sometimes if you're so busy caring for other people, it's easy to feel like you've lost yourself or you're not extending that same level of care to yourself. And so I really feel like for this year in 2025, that is kind of a shift for you that's going to happen where you really do start to prioritize taking care of yourself and, making sure that all your needs are being met emotionally. And that's coming through in the next card here, this Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is someone who rules more with their mind than with their emotions. They're not being led by their emotions. Not to say that she's emotionless, but she's thinking more logically. And Queen of Swords is definitely someone who believes in putting herself first. And that doesn't mean that she's selfish. It just means that she's like, I know that I need this, this, and this to happen, or I'm not going to be able to show up for other people, or I'm not going to be able to do my job correctly. And so I feel like you are going to step into this Queen of Swords energy within 2025, and you're going to really find the balance between this Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords. So that's balancing your creativity, your vision, your emotional intelligence with this very practical outlook on life. So I think you really start to cater to the desires of your inner child. You really start to make sure that all of your emotional needs are met before you, give all of yourself in service to other people. Because, the saying, you can't keep pouring from an empty cup. If you are completely drained, you won't have anything to give other people. So sometimes it's important to take that break and give yourself something first. And I think that Queen of Swords is you really stepping into the embodiment of that kind of self-preservation, self-sustaining. And that's also coming through in the middle card in your spread here, the World, which is the last card in the Major Arcana in the Tarot. The Major Arcana is kind of the big spiritual lesson. So as the last card, it's kind of like a grand finale. I see this a lot as like reaching new milestones in life. So I think in 2025, because you really are prioritizing yourself, I think you accomplish a lot of your goals. For example, this could be buying a house. This could be not even buying a house. This could be moving out and living by yourself for the first time. This could be getting a new job. This could be buying a new car. This could be learning a new skill or a new hobby, or just having more fun, making more friends. This is you feeling like you've really accomplished something. I mean, if you look at this card, this person is surrounded by these laurel wreaths, which represent victory, which also goes with the next card in your spread here, the Six of Wands, which if I had to summarize the Six of Wands in one word, it would be victory. So this is definitely a year where you have a lot of success. And the other thing about the Six of Wands is this is success, but also with recognition. I sometimes also see this as like my fame card or my famous card. So I think people are really going to be acknowledging how well you're doing for yourself in 2025. And again, this is all thanks to you really prioritizing yourself and what your inner child needs, what you desire, making sure that you are putting yourself first, and not in a selfish way. I'm not telling you to, forget everyone or be like, I will never help anyone again. But this is saying, I am just as important as everyone else, and, sacrificing myself in service to other people isn't going to make me feel better. What's going to make me feel better is X, Y, and Z, and then going and accomplishing that. And I think people see that. Probably people like stalk your social media to see what you're up to, or they're very impressed by what you're doing. You seem really cool to other people. And with the Justice card at the very end of your spread, Justice, this is like the karmic balance. This is the scales of justice. This person's literally holding the scales of justice. So this is all that work and effort you've put into helping other people is going to come back to you. The universe is going to be kind of granting you these successes because you finally turned that empathy inwards. And I think that's an important lesson to have. You have to be able to support yourself. I talk about this with my friends a lot, but I think it's very easy if you're like a very self-critical person, which I am, to just be so mean to yourself and not want to give yourself any leniency or be frustrated that we can't do anything, or feel like you're not deserving of like certain fun activities or something until you accomplish these other things. But sometimes you have to take a step back and think about yourself as like a little Russian nesting doll. Like, you have to think of your child self within you. And would you tell like your 5-year-old self that they're not allowed to go out and have fun because they are ugly that day, or not that it has to be about physical appearance, whatever your insecurities are, or that you feel like, oh, I'm not allowed to go out to dinner and celebrate with my friends because I don't have anything to celebrate, or I'm not allowed to wear this cute new outfit because I don't have anywhere to wear it to, and what's the point? No one's going to see it. This is about you allowing yourself that room to play and have fun and express your creativity, and not feel like you have to save it all for other people or in service to other people. And that's also coming through in the pile marker you selected here, this Candles Magic, which is all about finding the magic in your life, realizing that whatever you want, you can manifest, you can make come true if you put your intention and your creativity and your life force behind it. So I really think that 2025 is all about finding that magic in your life, having fun, and rewarding yourself for all of the hard work that you've put in, because the universe intends to reward you this year, most definitely. We've got 2 cards that are really representative of victory to me. And with your archetype card here, we have the Eternal Child, which is this card about literally finding the magic in life, supporting your inner child, being a free spirit, finding the fun in life, finding little moments of joy, little pockets of joy, approaching the world with the eyes of a child, which is someone who is so excited and so curious to learn new things. And if you look at both of these oracle cards that we have, so the Candles of Magic and the Eternal Child card, both of these are so colorful, and I think that really represents, all the different things that you're going to experience in 2025. This is, you think about color magic and how each color represents its own area of life. So yellow would be happiness and joy and friendship, and pink would be romance and beauty, and red is passion and anger, and orange is activities, sports, adventure, things like that. Green is money. All of these different things. I think this is really representative of you finding these little moments of magic in a bunch of different areas in your life, because you give yourself the permission to. You're prioritizing yourself and your own happiness. And again, this is the pile I would choose, and I think this makes a lot of sense for me, because I've read this book called Romancing the Ordinary by an author whose name escapes me at the moment, but it's basically this year-long suggestions for finding ways to really tap into your senses and find joy and sensuality during the entire year. And I went through it last month and just wrote down all the suggestions, because I have the idea that I am going to do that in 2025. And it's not always fancy. Sometimes it's pretty simple. It's in Valentine's Day, regardless of whether or not you have a date, make sure that you make yourself a Valentine's Day dinner. It doesn't have to be the night of Valentine's Day, but it's things like that. It's you can still reward yourself. You can have fun. Go watch a sunset, go watch a sunrise, things like that. Find the magic in your life, and don't feel like you have to accomplish X, Y, and Z, or you can't do this yet, because you only have one life to live. So you might as well find ways to enjoy it and find the magic in it and experience new things. And I think 2025 is the year of that for you, and you will find a lot of success in that by prioritizing yourself, and you will be rewarded for all of this effort that you've put into making your life more robust and, supporting the lives of other people. So that's really beautiful reflection. Sounds like we're going to have a good 2025, my pile fours. Thank you for watching. Please comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care.